Parliament is the legislature organ of the Union. It occupies a preeminent and a central position. Parliament, we have a Westminster model in Article 79 to 122 and Part 5. It is Part 5. The Constitution deals with the organization, composition, duration, procedures. Under the Constitution, the Parliament of India consists of three parts: President and Council of State and House of People. And the Hindi name Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha were adopted Council of State and House of People respectively. Rajya Sabha is the upper house and second chamber, and the Lok Sabha is the lower house, first chamber. Former represent the state and union territory of the India, while the latter is the people of India. Though the President of India is not a member of either House of Parliament and does not sit in the Parliament to attend the meeting, he is integral part of the Parliament. This is because a bill passed by both the House of Parliament cannot become law without the President's assent. He also performs certain functions relating to the proceeding of the Parliament, for example, summon, prorogue, dissolve the Lok Sabha, address both the House, issue ordinance when they are not in session. In this aspect, the framer of the Indian Constitution relied on the British pattern rather than American. In Britain, the Parliament consists of the Crown, House of Lords, and the House of Commons. By the contrast, the American President is not an integral part of USA. The legislature, which is known as Congress, consists of the Senate and lower house. The parliamentary form of government emphasizing the interdependence between legislation and executive. We have the presidential parliament like the crown in parliament in Britain. The presidential form of government, on the other hand, lays a separation of legislation and executive. Hence, American president is not regarded the constant part of the Congress. Composition of the two houses. The maximum strength of the Rajya Sabha is 250 and 238 that are representative of the state and 12 for the nominated by the president. At present, Rajya Sabha has 245 members. 229 members represent the state, 4 members represent union territory, and 12 for the nominated member of president. But that was according to 104 amendment. This clause was disclosed. Fourth schedule of the Constitution deal with the allocation of the seats in the Rajya Sabha. Representation of the state. The representation of the Rajya Sabha are elected by the elected member of the state assembly. The election held according to system proportional representation, single transferable. The seats allotted to the state in Rajya Sabha on the basis of population and number of the representative from state to state. Uttar Pradesh, that is 31, Tripura 1. However, in USA all states are given equal representation. USA is 50 state senate and 100 for the member. Representation of union territory. The representative of each union territory in the Rajya Sabha are indirectly elected member of the election college specially constructed for the purpose. This election is held in accordance with the system proportional representation, single transfer vote on the 7 union territory. Only 2 have in Rajya Sabha. The population of the 5 union territory are too small. Nominated member. The president nominated 12 members for the Rajya Sabha who have a special knowledge of the art, literature, science, and social service. The reason behind this principle of nomination is to provide the eminent person of Rajya Sabha without going through the process of election. Composition. The maximum strength of Lok Sabha is fixed 552. 530 members from the representative of the state, 20 members are to be the representative of the union territory, and 2 members are nominated by the president from the Anglo-Indian. At present, Lok Sabha has 445 members of 530 present state, 13 represent the UTs and 2 for the Anglo-Indian. So this Anglo-Indian clause also deleted. Representation of the state. The representation of the state in Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people from the Lok Sabha is a directly elected people from the territorial constituency. The election is based on the principle of universal adult franchise. Every Indian citizen who have 18 year age and who is not disqualified provision constitute any law. The voting age is 21 to 18. 61 Amendment. Representation of UT. The Constitution has empowered the Parliament to prescribe manner choosing the representative of the UT. According, the Parliament has elected territorial direct election for the House of People Act, by which member of Lok Sabha from Union Territory also chosen. Nominated member. The present nominated 2 members from the Anglo-Indian community is not adequately represented. This provision was operate 1960. System of election. Territorial constituency. For the purpose of the holding direct election of the Lok Sabha, each state divided into territorial constituency. Each state is allotted a number of the seats in the Lok Sabha in such a manner ratio between the number of the population, and this provision does not apply to state having a population. Each state divided into territorial constituency, and the constitution ensure that there is a uniformity of the representation of the two respect. The expression of population means the population ascertained the preceding census, which is figure. Now readjustment after each census. After each census, the readjustment is to be made in the allocation of the seat in Lok Sabha. Division of each state into territorial constituency. Parliament is empowered to determine the authority and manner in which it is to be made. Accordingly, Parliament has enacted a delimitation, that is 1952, 62, 72 and 2002. 42 Amendment Act 1976 was forced the allocation of the seats in Lok Sabha to the state and division of each state into territorial constituency. This being the readjustment 25 years by the 84 Amendment Act with the same objective of the encouraging population. 84 Amendment empowered the government to undertake the readjustment and re-rationalization of territorial constituency. 87 Amendment was a delimitation, and that was a 2001 census. Reservation of the seats. Though the Constitution has abandoned the system communal representation, it provided the reservation of the seats for the SC and ST in the Lok Sabha. Originally, it was operated for the year, but it was extended to the continuous 10 years. Now, under the 95 Amendment Act, the reservation is 2020. Those seats are reserved for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. They are elected by all the voters of constituency without any separate electorate. A member of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe is also not debarred from consisting general seat. 84 Amendment provided for the releasing of the reserved seats basis of the population, and later 87 Amendment provided for the releasing the reserved seats. Proportional representation. Though the Constitution has adopted the system of proportional representation, it has not preferred the same system of Lok Sabha. Instead, has adopted a system of territorial representation. Under territorial representation, every member of listeners represent a geographical area. From each constituency, only one representative elected. Hence, such a constituency is known as a single member. In this, the candidate who secure majority of the vote. This simple majority system does not represent the system of proportional representation and territorial representation rather than, and all section of the people get a representation of the proportion, even smallest section of population also. Two kind of the proportional representation. Single transferable vote system. India first kind of adopted the elected member of the Rajya Sabha and state legislation for the election the president and the vice president. If a person elected 2 seats in the house, he should be exercise his option for 1. Similarly, a person cannot be a member of both the House of Parliament and the state legislation at the same time. If a person is so elected, his seat of Parliament becomes vacant if he does not resign his state legislation within the 14 days. Disqualification. If a member of Parliament becomes subject to any of the disqualification, especially Constitution, his seat becomes vacant. Hence, the list of the disqualification also include the disqualification ground of defection of 10th schedule and resignation. So disqualification. If a member of Parliament becomes subject to any disqualification, especially his seat becomes vacant. Here the list of disqualification included the defection under 10 schedule. Resignation: member may resign his seat by the writing chairman of Rajya Sabha or speaker. As a case may be, the seats fall vacant when the resignation accepted, and chairman and speaker may not accept the resignation if he is satisfied that it is not voluntary. Absence: a house can declare the seats of the member vacant if he is absent from the all meeting 60 days without its permission. In computing the 60 days, no account shall be taken of any period is prorogue or adjourn. Other cases: member has to vacate his seat if he is election declared void, if he is expelled by the house, if he is elected office of president, vice president, if he appointed to the office of governor of the state. So that was other cases. If the disqualified person is elected to the parliament, the constitution lay down the no procedure to the declared. This matter is dealt by the representation of the people, which enable the High Court to declare the election void. Oath: the House Parliament, before taking the seats, has to make and subscribe the oath and affirmation before President. Some other person has a supposed to bear true faith and allegiance to uphold the sovereignty, faithfully discharges duty. Unless the member take the oath, they cannot vote in the participating, not become eligible. But a person is liable to penalty 500 for each day, and before taking the subscribing to the prescribed oath affirmation, when he know that he is not qualified or that he is disqualified, when he know that he prohibited from the sitting of the voting. Salary and the allowances: member of the other house of parliament entitled salary determined by the parliament, and there is no provision pension in this constitution. However, parliament provided the pension. 1954, parliament enacted the salary allowances bill, act 2010, and from 1976 the member are also entitled to the pension. Graduates for the 5-year term. Besides, they are provided the with travelling facility, free accommodation, telephone, vehicle. Salary allowances of the Speaker of the Lok Sabha and Chairman of Rajya Sabha are also determined by the Parliament. They are charged on the Consolidated Fund of India, not subject to the annual vote of Parliament. In 53, the Parliament enacted the Salary Allowances Office of Parliament Act. Under the Act was salary. The Chairman of Rajya Sabha has been fixed 1.25 lakh per month. Similarly, other Office of Parliament that was fixed the salary. Speaker, Deputy Speaker, entitled the per month as the same rates of the payable to the Member of Parliament. Further, each Office of Parliament is entitled to receive a daily allowances at the same rate payable to the Member of Parliament, and also each Officer of Parliament is entitled to receive a constituent allowances at the same rate. According to the same Act, the sumptuary allowances was also provided, and sumptuary allowances is the paid Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Presiding Officer of Parliament. Each House of the Parliament is the own presiding officer, the Speaker, Deputy Speaker, and a panel of chairperson for the Lok Sabha and a panel of vice chairperson for the Rajya Sabha. Election: the Speaker elected by the Lok Sabha from the amongst member. Whenever the office of the Speaker fall vacant, the Lok Sabha another member fill the vacancy, and the date of election of the Speaker fixed by the President. Usually, Speaker remain office during the Lok Sabha. So he has to vacate his office earlier if he ceased to be a member of Lok Sabha, if he is resigned, if he is removed by the resolution by the majority of Lok Sabha. Giving 14-day advance notice: when a resolution removal of the Speaker under consideration, he cannot preside at the sitting, and though he may present. So, however, he can speak and take part in the proceedings time and vote in the first instance, though not in the case in the equality of the vote. So it should be noted here that whenever Lok Sabha dissolved, the Speaker does not vacate his office and continue till the newly Lok Sabha meets. Role and power of function: the Speaker is the head of the state, head of the Lok Sabha. Its representation: he is a guardian of power, privileges member. He houses a whole and its community. He is principal spokesperson and decision of parliamentary matters. He is much more than merely presiding officer. In this capacity, he vested with the vast varied vital responsibilities, dignity. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha derives his power duty from the three sources: Constitution of India, rule, procedure, conduct of the business, parliamentary convention, He maintained order and decorum of the house of the business, his primary responsibility. He is final interpreter of the constitution, rule of procedure, conduct and the parliamentary precedents. He adjourn his house, suspend the meetings, absence of quorum. The quorum to the constitute a meeting of the house is 1/10. He does not vote in the first instance, but he can exercise the casting vote in the case of tie. In other words, only when the house is divided equally any question, the speaker entitled to vote, and such vote is calling the casting vote. He presides over the joint sitting of the two houses of parliament. Such a sitting is summoned by the president of the setting the deadlock. He can allow the secret sitting of the house at the request of leader of the house. When the house sits in secret, no stranger can be present in the chamber. He decides whether a bill is money bill or not. And final, when a money bill transmitted to Rajya Sabha and presented to the president, the speaker encodes on all bill certificate of the money bill. Decide the question of disqualification of a member arising out the ground of defection. Supreme Court ruled that the decision of a speaker regarded subject judicial review. He acted as the ex officio chairman of the parliamentary group, which acted as a link between parliament. He also acted as the ex officio chairman of the conference of presiding officer. He appointed chairman of all the parliamentary committees, and he himself is the chairman of the business committee. Independent and impartiality. As the office of speaker vested the great prestige, independence and impartiality. He is provided security of tenure, and he can be removed only by the resolution passed by the Lok Sabha absolute majority and not by the ordinary majority. The member present voting of the house, this motion is removed, can be considered as a discussed only when it has the support of 50 members. Salary allowances fixed by the parliament, they are charged to Consolidated Fund of India, not subject to annual vote. His work conduct cannot be discussed in the Lok Sabha. His power of the regulating procedure or conduct business, maintaining order of the house not subject to jurisdiction. He cannot vote in first instance. He can only be exercised casting vote. He is the given very high position order of precedence, and he is placed a 7th rank along with the Chief Justice of India. This means higher rank than all cabinet ministers except Prime Minister. In Britain, Speaker strictly is non-party man. There is a convention and has to resign from the party, remain politically neutral. This healthy convention is not fully deputy speaker like the speaker that also elected Lok Sabha itself. The amongst the member he is elected after the election of the speaker had taken place. The date of the election of deputy speaker fixed by the speaker. Whenever the office of deputy speaker fall vacant, the Lok Sabha elect the another member. Like a speaker and deputy speaker remain office usually during the life of Lok Sabha. So if he ceased to be a member, if resigned to the speaker, removed by the resolution passed by the majority of the Lok Sabha, giving the advance notice of the 14 days. The deputy speaker performs the duties of the speaker office when it vacant. He also acts as a speaker when the latter is absent. In both the cases, they assume all the powers of the speaker. He also presides over the joint sitting of both the House of Parliament in case of the speaker absent from sitting. It should be noted here that the deputy speaker is not subordinate to speaker. He is directly responsible. Deputy speaker has the special privileges. Whenever it's appointed a member of the parliamentary committee, he automatically become a chairman. So that is important thing. Like the speaker, deputy speaker while presiding over the house cannot vote in first instance. He can only exercise a casting vote of the case of tie. Further, when a resolution for the removal of deputy speaker under consideration, he cannot preside the sitting of the house. When the speaker presides over the house, the deputy speaker, like any other ordinary member, he can speak in the house, participate in the proceeding. The deputy speaker entitled the regular salary allowances fixed by the parliament, charge on the Consolidated Fund of India. Up to the 10th Lok Sabha, both the speaker and deputy speaker were usually ruling party. Since 11 Lok Sabha, there has been a consensus. Speaker come from the ruling party and deputy speaker from the opposition. Speaker and the deputy speaker, while assuming, do not make the subscribed oath. The institution of speaker and deputy speaker originated in 1921. Governor of the India. The Montesquieu Chelmsford reform. The Speaker and Deputy Speaker were called the President, Deputy President respectively. Before 1921, Governor General of India used to preside over the meeting Central Council. In this Frederick White, Sachidanand Sinha were appointed the Governor General of India, the first Speaker of the first Deputy Speaker of the Central Legislative Assembly. Vittal Bhai Patel became the first Indian and the first elected Speaker of the Central Assembly. The Governor of India was charged the nomenclature of President, Deputy President, Central Legislative Assembly. However, old nomenclature continued and act implemented. G.V. Mavlankar and the Ananthaswamy Iyengar had the distinction first Speaker and the first Deputy Speaker. Lok Sabha. G.V. Mavlankar also had the post of Speaker in the Constituent Assembly as well as Provisional Parliament. He held the post of Speaker Lok Sabha continuously from 1946 to 56. Panel of Chairperson of Lok Sabha. Under the Rajya Sabha or Speaker nominated from the among its member panel of not more than the Chairperson, any of them can be preside over the House absence of the Speaker or Deputy Speaker. He has the same power of the Speaker when so presiding. He hold the office until new panel nominated. When member of the panel chairperson is also not present, any person determined by the Speaker. It must be emphasized here that the member of the panel chairperson cannot preside over the House when the office of Speaker, Deputy Speaker vacant. During this time, such a Speaker's duty are to be performed House as a President and the election held as soon as possible. As provided by the Constitution, the Speaker of the Lok Sabha vacate the office immediately before first meeting of newly elected President. Appoint the member of the Lok Sabha as a Speaker pro tem. Usually, the senior-most member of the President himself administered oath of the Speaker pro tem, and the Speaker pro tem has all power of the Speaker. He preside over the first meeting. His main duty of the administered oath to the new member. He also enabled the House to elect a new Speaker. When a new Speaker elected by House officers, Speaker pro tem ceased to exist his post. Chairman of Rajya Sabha. The presiding officer of Rajya Sabha known as the Chairman. The Vice President is the ex-officio Chairman of the Rajya Sabha. During the period when the Vice President acts as the President or discharge the function, he does not perform the duties office of the Chairman. The Chairman of the Rajya Sabha can be removed from his office only if removed by the office of Vice President. As a presiding officer, the power and function of the Chairman of Rajya Sabha similar to those of the Speaker of Lok Sabha. Speaker decide whether a bill is money bill or not, and his decision is final. The Speaker preside over the joint sitting of the House. Unlike the Speaker, the Chairman is not a member of the House, but like a Speaker, the Chairman also cannot vote in first hand, but he can cast a vote in the case of tie. The Vice President cannot preside over a sitting of Rajya Sabha Chairman when the resolution is removed under the consideration. However, he can be present and speak in the House and can take part in the proceeding without voting. In the first hand, when the resolution for the removal under consideration. As in the case of the Speaker, the salary and allowances of Chairman are also fixed by the Parliament. They are charged on the consolidated fund of the India. During the period of the Vice President Act, the President discharged the function of the President. He is not entitled, so any salary and allowances payable to the Chairman of Rajya Sabha. Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha. If he ceased to be a member of Rajya Sabha, if he resigned by writing the Chairman, if he removed by the resolution passed by the majority of all the members of the Rajya Sabha, such a resolution cannot be moved only after 14 days advance notice. Deputy Chairman is elected Rajya Sabha amongst the member. Whenever the office of the Deputy Chairman vacant, Rajya Sabha elect another member for fill the vacancy. Deputy Chairman perform duties Chairman when it vacate, or the Vice President act President discharge the function of the President. He also acts as the Chairman when the latter is absent. It should be emphasized here that the Deputy Chairman is not subordinate to the Chairman. He is already responsible to the Rajya Sabha. Like the Chairman and Deputy Chairman, while presiding over the House, cannot vote in the first hand. He can only exercise casting vote. Further, when a resolution of the moved to the Deputy Chairman under the consideration, he cannot preside over the sitting. When a Chairman presides over the House, the Deputy Chairman is like any other ordinary member. He can speak in the House, participate proceeding and vote on any question before the House. Like a chairman and deputy chairman is also entitled to regular salaries. They are the parliament and all charge the consolidated fund of India. Panel of the vice chairperson. So under the Rajya Sabha chairman nominated amongst the member of the panel, any one of them each preside over the house, and chairman and deputy he has the same power of the chairman when so preside. He hold the office. New panel of this nominated. When a member of the panel of vice chairperson not present, any other person determining this chairman. It must be emphasizing as the member of the vice chairperson cannot be preside over when an office of chairman and deputy chairman vacant. During such time, chairman duty are to be performed. Secretariat. Each house of parliament has a separate secretariat, so there is can be some post of the common. This recruitment and services condition by the parliament. The secretariat of the each house is headed by the secretariat general. Leader of in parliament. Leader of the house. Rule of Lok Sabha. The leader of the house means the prime minister. If he is member of the Lok Sabha, or minister who is a member of Lok Sabha nominated by the prime minister. There is a leader of the house in the Rajya Sabha. He is a minister and the member of Rajya Sabha nominated by the prime minister for the function. Leader of the house in the other house is important functionary, exercise direct influence of conduct business. He can also nominate a deputy leader. They same function as a USA majority leader. So प्राइम मिनिस्टर नॉमिनेट करता है इसको, ठीक है. Now the leader of the opposition. In each house the parliament there is a leader of opposition. The leader of largest opposition party having the 1/10 seat of the total strength. Recognizing the leader of opposition in a parliamentary system government, the leader of opposition significant role play. His main functions are provide a constructive criticism. Therefore, the leader of opposition of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha work according with the statutory. They are also entitled the salary of allowances according to the cabinet. An official leader of opposition was recognizing the first time. The British political system has a unique institution of shadow cabinet. It is formed by the opposition party of the balance of the ruling cabinet. It prepares the members' future ministerial office. Shadow is the corresponding members. This shadow cabinet is an alternate cabinet if there is a change in the government. That is why the Ivergenics describe leader of opposition as an alternative prime minister. Though the office of leader of house is leader of the opposition are not mentioned, they are mentioned the rule of the house statute, and the office of whip of the other hand is mentioned neither in the constitution and nor in the constitution and nor in the rule of the house nor in the parliamentary statute. It is based on the convention of the parliamentary government. Even the political party, whether ruling or opposition, on whip is the parliament. He is appointed by the political party to serve as assist the floor of leader. He is charged with the responsibility ensuring the party member large number of the securing their support. He regulate monitor the parliament behavior and the member are supposed to follow the directives given by the whip. Sessions summoning. The president is the time to time summon the each house, but the maximum gap between two sessions cannot be more than the 6 months, and the parliament should meet at least twice a year. The budget session, monsoon and winter. The session of parliament is period scanning the first sitting of the house. During this, the house meets every day to translate the business, and the period was between the prorogation of the house and its reassembly called the recess. Adjournment. The session of the parliament consists of many meetings like 11 am to 1 am, post of 2 to 6. A sitting of the parliament can be terminated. Adjournment and adjournment sine die. Adjournment suspend the work sitting of the specified time. Adjournment sine die means terminating the sitting. It is terminating the sitting for the indefinite period. For the indefinite period, if you are terminating the sitting, the house is adjourned without naming the day. It is called the adjournment sine die, and the power of the adjournment as well as adjournment sine with the presiding officer. He can also call the sitting of the house before the date or the time which has been adjourned. Prorogation. The presiding officer declared house adjourned sine die when the business of the session is completed. Within the next day, the president issues the notification prorogation of the session. However, the president can also prorogue the house for while the session. Specific difference are there. Adjournment, that it is only terminate the sitting And prorogation, it is terminated sitting and session both. It is done by the presiding officer, but prorogation done by the President of India. It does not affect the bills of the other business, but it does not affect the bills. But however, all pending notices and lapse and prorogation is a fresh notice has to be given for the next session. In the Britain, prorogation being to end all the bills, but in India that is not. Dissolution. The Rajya Sabha being a permanent house, so cannot be dissolved. Only the Lok Sabha dissolution, unlike the prorogation and dissolution and the very life of the existence house, new houses continue after the general election held. Automatic dissolution, that is one on the expiry of the tenure of 5 years and during the national emergency. Whenever the president decide to dissolve the house, which is authorized to do, once a Lok Sabha dissolved before the completion of normal tenure, dissolution is irrevocable. When the Lok Sabha dissolve, all the business including the motion, resolution, notice, petition pending before it is committee lapse, they must be reintroduced in the newly constituted Lok Sabha. Some pending bills and all pending assurance are examined by the committee. A bill pending in the Lok Sabha lapse or originated in the Lok Sabha transmitted to Rajya Sabha. A bill passed by the Lok Sabha pending in the Rajya Sabha, that will also be lapsed. A bill not passed by the two houses due to the disagreement, if the president has notified holding a joint sitting, so that will not be lapsed. A bill pending in the Rajya Sabha but not passed Lok Sabha does not lapse. A bill passed by both the house pending in this president not lapse. A bill passed by both the house returned by the president does not lapse. Quorum. Quorum is the minimum number of the members required for the president of the house. It is 1/10 of the total members in the each house, including the presiding officer. It means that there must be a 55 members and 25 members for Rajya Sabha. If any business of the conducted, there is no quorum during the meeting. It is duty of the presiding officer for that. Voting in the house. All the matters, any sitting of the other house, joint sitting of the board, decided by the majority of the vote. Only a few matters which are specifically mentioned concern, like the impeachment of president, amendments of the constitution, removal of the presiding office. The presiding officer of the house does not vote in the first instance but exercise the casting vote. In the case of equality of the vote, the proceeding of the house held valid irrespective of the unauthorized voting. On the conclusion debate, the speaker shall put the question and invite those who are in the favor of the motion, and the speaker shall say, I think the I, and has, if the opinion of the speaker is to decision of the question, he shall say the I have it and the question before the house. If the opinion of the speaker has to decide the question is challenged, he shall order the lobby cleared. After the lapse 3 minutes and the third second, he shall put the question. If the opinion is declared again, the challenged shall direct to the vote. Language of the Parliament. The Constitution declared the Hindi and English both as a language. Presiding officer can perform address the House mother tongue. In both the House arrangement are made for the simultaneously. English was to be the discontinued the floor of language after the expiration of the 15 days from commencement of Constitution. Official language allow the English to be continued along the Hindi. Right of Minister Attorney General. So, in addition to the member of the House, every Ministry of Attorney General of India have a right to speak and take part at the joint sitting of both the House of Committee, which is member without being entitled to vote. There are two reasons underlining. A minister can participate in the proceeding of the House for which not a member. In the other word, the minister belonging to the Lok Sabha can participate in the proceeding, and a minister who is not a member of the other House can participate in the proceeding. It should be noted that a person remain a minister for 6 months without being member of the other house. Lame duck session. It refers to the last session of the existing Lok Sabha. Those members of the existing Lok Sabha who could not get re-elected into new Lok Sabha is called the lame duck.